In today's video I wanted to show you how to arrange beats. I already got some sequences that I'm done with, and there's like one or two that I'm not completely happy with. So we're gonna change that and, you know, just make our loops into a full beat. Let's get into it. So I got my MPC right here and loaded a beat up that I've been working on for the last couple of days. So basically I actually only have two main sequences. It's this one, sequence 1, which is called part, and the hook, sequence 2. And I'm just quickly gonna show you how they sound. So this is the part. And this is the hook. So yeah, that's the two main sequences I'm working with. So before I start actually arranging a beat, I think about the structure of the beat. And I knew from the beginning that I wanted to go with looping the part, the main beat 4 times, and then going into the hook and loop that 2 times or repeat that 2 times, then going back to the part 4 times and do the hook 2 times more. So therefore I basically knew that I wanted to have 4 different variations of the part, the sequence 1, so I can change something up in every 4 bars without it being too noticeable. Because when we do these kind of changes within sequences, we don't want to, you know, completely throw the listener off by doing a whole new pattern or something like that. Basically we want to do subtle changes that they don't recognize right away, but you know, they'll notice it. So first off, we got a sequence where we basically do a drum change. This is a sequence that I want to change because I don't like how it sounds. So therefore let's just start this sequence from scratch and let's go to the drum track. And let's think about what we can do. Basically I can see 3 different things we could do. First thing that got right into my head was basically to play a 2-step hi-hat pattern instead of playing only these few hi-hats that we have right now. So basically something like this. But I think that is not subtle enough. I think this is too in your face, especially because I want this sequence to play after the clean sequence played the first time. So we can't throw the listener off like that right in the beginning. So therefore a second thing we could do is to completely do a whole new drum pattern. You know, start right from scratch and do something completely new. But I don't want to do that too. So my thought is, my third option or my third thought right here is to change something about the last bar. Therefore I'm gonna delete it. Actually I want to keep the hi-hats and I'm just gonna delete the snare and kick. And then what I like to do is when I'm just working with a single bar, I like to take the loop and drag it all the way to only this bar, and when I press play now, you know, it just helps me to really work with or really focus on only this part of the beat. I think something like that maybe. Maybe like that, just put a snare on the 4 also. Maybe put a hi-hat more here and here. And take the velocity down on this just to switch it up more. And the kick I want to play on the 1 and then on the 3 and then on the 4 and the 4th and, if that makes sense. I'm just gonna play it and you'll see. Yeah, like this. Just a subtle little change. So now we got the first sequence done. It's the clean beat, the first thing that we started off with. Then we got the drum change as the second sequence. So we only need a 3rd and a 4th sequence. And those two sequences I've already made. So I'm just gonna show you what I did there. So the 3rd sequence is different bass. And that is a sequence where we change up the bass line just so slightly. So let me show you how the bass line looks normally on the sequences. Almost like a staircase kind of bass line that, you know, it just goes up and down. On this sequence though, we changed it up by basically not starting the bass at the 1 and also playing some different notes. So basically the listener would think when this sequence starts that okay, this is just 4 bars without the bass, which is, you know, it's very common in arrangement that, you know, sometimes you take the bass out and just let the kick and snare, you know, carry the beat basically. But you know, this kind of throws them off as soon as we hit the 3rd beat, because, you know, the bass is still there, it's just somewhere else. What I'm trying to achieve here is I want to throw off the listener but bring the listener back home as soon as the bass plays. So I'm just gonna play the sequence so you can kind of see what I mean. So this is the 3rd sequence I want to play right after the little drum change that we just made. After that, we only need one more sequence before we go into the hook. And the hook is just going to repeat itself 2 times, so no change up there. We want to transition into the hook. To do that, I basically changed 2 chops of the pattern. So I think I'm playing these 2 chops. So basically I'm playing some different chops right here just to kind of prepare the listener to, there's a change up, we're still at the same pattern but something has changed within the pattern, different chops, and then we go into the hook where it's like a complete new pattern and complete new part of the sample. So I'm just gonna play this sequence in a minute to you. Another thing we did here, and that is like the easiest thing you can do when it comes to arranging beats. What I added on the drums right here is just a drum fill, and it's nothing that I did myself, even sampled. It's just a drum fill from Splice, but it just works, and it works every time. Drum fills are perfect to transition from one sequence to another sequence. So the drum fill sounds like this, and all together this sequence sounds like this. So it's still normal here. And then on the 3rd, and now, and then we'll go into the hook. And by that we're basically extending the loop, because we're still playing the same pattern and the same drums, but we're extending the loop by, instead of repeating the same sequence 4 times, we extended it the first time by changing up the 4th bar, or the last beat of the 2nd sequence. So we got 8 bars instead because there's a change. Then we extended it to 12 bars by changing up the bass line, and then we extended it to 16 bars by doing some different pattern or different chops in the pattern. And that is how I like to arrange my beats, you know, just extending the loop and just introducing something new or changing something up every 4 bars. Before we start, I just quickly want to show you I got a 6th sequence which is called intro. I'm doing nothing here, I'm just putting in the sample that I recorded. I can see that we haven't cut it off at the end right here, so you know, just throwing in the sample from the sample library, taking the first 4 bars, cutting it to 4 bars, and then just pitching it to where we are with the, you know, with the beat, with the chops. We can go into song mode, which we do by holding mode and pad 10. The way we can arrange now is by basically we press record, and then I want to start with the intro, which we can see is on pad 5, so we just press that once. Now we got the intro playing at the beginning of, you know, this beat that we're building. Next off, we want the part to play, and we want the playing part, which is pad 1, so we press that once. After that, we want to play it with the drum change, which is pad 7. Then we want the bass change, which is here. Then we play the transition into the hook, which is here, and then we play the hook twice. And now we can just repeat this exact arrangement. So part, drum change, bass, transition, hook. And then we just ended with the intro. Just like that, we arranged the beat with a lot of change up, with a lot of different things going on without the beat getting boring. As soon as we arrange this, we can double tap stop so it doesn't record anymore, and we can hit convert to sequence, hit do it, it's gonna go to sequence 9, keep that in mind. Go to main, shift, track select, go to sequence 9, and we can see we got the whole beat here.